Hey peeps! So I was sat and thinking, and then suddenly I had this massive hankering for hot crust buns. So I looked up a recipe and thought, you know what, I've never made them before, so let's give it a go, and why not make a video from it, because I'm sure it'll be full of lols and all that, because yeah, why not? So I've already weighed out the ingredients, which I will actually put into the comments below, but I'll try and fire them off at the top of my head. But yeah, if you want to try and mimic what I do today, caution, you may try this at home kind of thing, but if it works, it works. If not, lol, I'm an idiot. So we have 75 grams of caster sugar, 500 grams of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We have sultanas, 7 gram sachet of active yeast, 1 egg, which I am going to beat you when the camera isn't running. Beat you. And here I have 50 grams of butter that I've already melted and 300 milliliters of milk, which is warming up at the moment. So once this is up to temperature, we can get going, because bowl stands ready and my hankering grows ever more greater. Sorry, I don't know where my brain went. My hankering grows greater. So yes, that's it. Linguistic derp. So yes, let's just wait on the milk and then we can try and make, well, I'm actually going to add a side note, because you're supposed to have a little bit more ingredients to make the little crosses, but I can't be asked to do that. So these are going to be called hot bucket buns, because I don't even know if it's going to work or not, but yeah, fuck it. So hot bucket buns. Let's see where this goes, peeps. Alrighty, so we got flour. We've got the salt and cinnamon. In you go. And the sugar. Right. And then we have the yeast. There we go. And just that way. And what we do there, just mix it all together like this. It's nice and even. It smells great, actually. It's the cinnamon. Now, yeah, there's other things you can add to the hot cross buns, or bucket buns, whatever you want to call them. But I don't have like the other zesty bits and the fruity bits. All I've got is the sultanas. So this is a bit of an improv recipe, considering, random hankering and impromptu video and that. So I'm working with what I've got. I'm intrigued to see how this turns out though. Okay, so now we're just gonna make a little well in the middle like this. And what that's for is for the wet ingredients, which we will check on in a minute. Because with the milk you're supposed to kind of bring it to a boil and then let it cool off until it's like warm enough for you to put your hand in it and not burn yourself. And then you add the butter to that, and then you pour that into the well, and you add the beaten egg, and then we mix it all together, which we will do in a minute once the milk is done. Alrighty, so the milk is now cooled, so I'm just going to take the butter and add it like that. And get a little spoon. Okay. So So we have this a little bit at a time. I think you're supposed to do this with your hands, but seeing as I'm filming and everything. And the rest of the milk. So I'm going to go ahead and get my hands in there and then I'll show you the result. Don't forget to add the raisins. Almost forgot. I'm just eyeballing it. I like raisins. There we go. I'm sorry, this is really hard to do one-handed. But that's the progress so far. So that was quite a workout. I've just manually kneaded this thing for about 10 minutes. And it feels nice and springy, a little bit sticky, but not too much. Quite elasticy, so that's kind of the result you want. So it kind of like you push it and it springs back, a little bit like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in its bowl and cover it with some cling film or just the plastic wrap thing, and let it sit for about an hour and a half. So there we go. Just going to just place it over like this so it's nice and covered. There's room for it to expand. Maybe I'll leave it a little bit more. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we will be back in an hour and a half. Alright, so it's been about 2 hours, and as you can see, it's really doubled in size. And you'll notice it's a little bit shiny, and that's because I forgot to do this on camera, but I've had to slightly oil the plastic wrap so the dough doesn't get this icky hard crust on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly flour the surface, divide this into some balls, lay them out on the tray there, and then wrap them and leave them rest. But I'm going to leave them rest overnight now, because it's actually past 9 PM, so I'm not going to start baking them now, but they'll be ready to go fresh for tomorrow, so that will be nice. So yeah, I'm going to get this out of the bowl and divide it up. Okay, and I've rolled them out and I've got a grand total of 11. So the recipe I'm following says that I should have got 15, so I think I've made them a little bit too big, but meh, whatever. I think they're a good size. We'll see how this turns out. So I'm just going to get some plastic wrap and I'll show you how I prepare it so we can wrap them up overnight. Well, not wrap them up, cover them overnight, and they'll rest and expand, and then we can bake them tomorrow. Okay, so you can't see it, but there's some oil in there. I get my little brush and I just brush it on like that. I'm going to have to straighten it out with both hands though, so but you get the idea of what I'm doing here. So here they are all wrapped up and covered. So you can see I've left enough space to leave them expand a little bit so they're not going to get all smushed together. Now usually you can leave these to rest like this for about an hour and then do them in the oven, but like I said, it's getting late, so there's no harm in doing it overnight as well. So what I'm going to do, just for extra good measure, is cover them with some tea towels like this, and yeah, to be continued tomorrow, peeps. Okay, so it's the next day. The oven is preheating, and let's see what we've got. Ah, the big reveal. These look great. So you can see they've risen nicely overnight. And seeing as it's a new day and I've found a whole new batch of can be asked, I've decided to do the crosses anyway. So they're going to be Lulu's hot cross fuqette buns, because I'm still improvising. I still haven't, well, I didn't use everything that the recipe called for because I didn't have it. So namely like the extra zest and the extra fruity chunk things. And I didn't have bread flour, so I used just normal patisserie flour. And what else? Oh yeah, I don't have the apricot jam, so I'm going to be substituting that for agave syrup. So yeah, here they are. So let's get over, well, the syrup is warming up and the cross paste needs to be made. So let's show you how I do that. So for the paste, I'm going to need 75 grams of flour and 5 tablespoons of water. Check it out, dude. Still got 'em. Still got 'em. This was a housewarming gift set from Annika, my dude. You may recognise her. Recognise her from our very long discussion videos about crap that life will throw at you. But yeah, still got 'em, dude. Still got 'em. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon 1 tablespoon at a time into this flour and make a paste. Now I can't really do that one-handed, so again I'm just going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like and what I'll do with that. Okay, so this is what you want from the paste, something smooth, no little lumps in it, and you just add the water to achieve this sort of consistency. Now I had to put in a little bit extra water, like an extra tablespoon, to get this. So just add a little bit of water at a time until it gets to the consistency you need it. So the measurements are just a guideline, but yeah, obviously it can vary. So there we go, this is what I've got. So what I'm going to do now is, you're supposed to use a piping bag, but I can't be bothered to get out my piping bag and then having to clean it afterwards. So I'm just going to use this plastic freezer bag. So if you don't have one, this is how you can get around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spoon it in here. Again, it's a two-hand job. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tablespoon measurement and put 3 tablespoons of this agave syrup here into a pan on a low heat to just warm up a little bit, and that is going to make the glaze for the buns. Okay, so I've got my little makeshift piping bag. So what I'm going to do is, with a pair of scissors, you can see there, I'm just going to cut the tip off and pipe little X's onto the buns, and then once those are on, actually I think I'm going to glaze them first, so I think that's the right way to do it, and then I can glaze the, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to glaze the crosses with the consistency like this. So yeah, let's get my rubber brush and the, hang on, I'm going to get my heat proof mat, just a second. So in here I've got the agave syrup that has just warmed up just a little bit, so you can see here it's not so thick and it makes for an easy time to brush and make sure that the bun is glazed nicely. So see that, like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and get the crosses on, and I will show you what they look like before we get them into the oven. Okay, so they are all crossed up and glazed and ready to go in the oven. So yeah, I've preheated the oven to 220 degrees Celsius, and yeah, gonna throw them in. I'll have to check the baking time, but I will let you know when I've checked that and I can say. So in they go. Okay, so the timer is set for 20 minutes and they're in. So hopefully these turn out well and my substitutions haven't affected the taste too much, but I'm really intrigued to see how these turn out because this is the first time I've ever made hot cross buns. So fingers crossed, peeps. Let's hope this is not a complete disaster. Alrighty, they're done. Now, I had to pull them out a few minutes early, like 4 minutes early, but still, I think I would have given them about a minute or two less. So I would recommend, for my oven anyway, baking them for about 12 to 13 minutes rather than 16 minutes. But it recommended 20, so, but they're not, it's not a disaster, they're just a little bit browner than I think they should be. These ones look okay. So I'm gonna get these onto a cooling rack in a minute or so. And yeah, and then once they've cooled, we can cut them open and give them a try, because I'm really intrigued. And here they are, all cooling. So all in all, they don't look too bad. A little bit sloppy in places, but it's the taste that matters. I mean, like I said, they're probably a little bit browner than I would like them, but they look okay. Just a note for next time, I guess. I know to do them for a little less time and not wander off even for a minute. But there we go. So yeah, we'll cut them open once they've cooled down a bit and do a bit of a taste test. Okay, so I've already had to cut it open because can't do that one-handed, but it looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a taste test. Obviously, you know, you can try this, but this is a first attempt for me, and like I said, I did make a few substitutions, but it's always fun to see. You know, not everyone's a pro baker. I'm certainly not one of them, but it's always fun to try these things. But yeah, on that note, peeps, thanks for watching. If you give it a try, let me know by leaving a comment below. It's always fun to hear about these things. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Thanks for watching, peeps. As always, it's much appreciated, much love, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.